Hey guys, it's 101R Smith back again with yet another review, this time of the high-grade Gundam Love Phantom. Now, as I stated before in previous reviews, I am not the biggest fan of Gundam build divers. I find it to be uninspired, underwhelming, and in comparison to its previous two series, it's just somewhat lackluster and just too many ass pulls and plot armor. That also goes well in my ideals of the mobile suit designs. With some exceptions, I find them to be very uninspired and underwhelming. And even the few that I do like, namely the Stray No Name, it doesn't come completely accurate in package. And that's where we are with the Love Phantom. I find it to be somewhat of a mixed bag. Now, when I first saw this design, it screams Gundam Deathscythe, despite the fact that it's inspired by Strike Freedom and the Stray Noir. This is a fantastic looking design, I will admit that, no problem. The issue I have is that pink. We have an issue with that pink. Now, I understand with the show, granted I haven't watched much after episode 7, the pilot is one of the NPCs and he happens to be a very flamboyant individual, which isn't a problem, it's just more, I don't like the pink. This is a badass suit that is screaming black, white, and maybe some hints of red, not pink. And spoiler alert, just like the Stray No Name, it doesn't even match the on-screen model. In the anime, the pink on the Love Phantom was a mix between white and pink. In the actual box, it's more of a violet pink, and it's even stronger than it was on the anime, so I just said, fuck it. I had somewhat of a success with the RX-78, I'll just repaint it into my way. But before we get into that, why don't we open up the box and see what we have here. When you open up the box, you'll be presented with a fair amount of runners on this kit. The main template of this Love Phantom Gundam is the revived Strike Freedom Gundam. So you'll be getting a lot of the frame parts and some of the armor that came on this kit. As I stated before on this kit, the pink is a lot stronger than it was even on the animation model. It's more of a violet pink than a soft whitish pink. Also in the model kit, you'll be getting a lot of beautiful matte black, mainly used for the Stray Noir backpack, and I gotta say, I love the matte black. It works great on this kit and it looks very beautiful. As well, you'll be getting a lot of new pieces to complement the new Love Phantom style in terms of the feet. As well, you'll be getting a beautiful beam scythe effect part for the beam scythe. And to be happy to report, there are only 3 stickers that are used on this kit, so this is a grand improvement. All built up, and as well as painted, and we have my custom high-grade Gundam Love Phantom. Overall, I think I did a pretty good job on the paint scheme. I'm still struggling with white because I did use primer on these pieces, and it seems every time I use white, the excess always drips down to the edges, and it never turns out really well. In terms of the red, I think I did a pretty good job. It landed on it solid, and the gunmetal also helps to differentiate it just a slight tad bit from Deathscythe. In terms of the model kit, I think it looks pretty well and accurate to its anime model. I love the matte black, the yellow accent pieces really help it to stand out a lot better. And I just love the feet. I know it's somewhat heels, but it works as well with Deathscythe. And I do think that instead of using the Freedom, the Strike Freedom was the way to go in terms of using a template. I think it was very serviceable as a template for this kit. So why don't we take a look at some articulation now. Like always, we're going to start with the head. The head is on a polycap, so it can go front to back, side to side, and 360 degrees, no problem. The arms can go about perpendicular to each other, and can go 360 as it's connected to a polycap if you mind the backpack. With the arms, you can get a double jointed elbow. The hands are on polycaps. On the waist, you'll get certain side to side and up and down, twists as well. The side skirts are connected to each other, but you can cut them apart. The back skirt is stationary, it's all one piece. And the legs, you can get a double jointed knee bend, which is pretty good. As well, on the feet, you can get some front to back, but no side to side, and a nice toe tip on the side. As well, I find the backpack to be very posable and it works very well in terms of its capabilities. Overall, I want to say that the articulation on the Love Phantom Gundam is excellent. Now for the accessories, and the biggest one is literally what's on its back, the Astray Noir backpack. Now, if you're wondering if it's a recycle, no, this is completely brand new for the Love Phantom, though it is possible we may see it again in a different kit. Thanks to this, you'll be able to get a ton of different configurations. As well, you'll be getting scythes, physical scythes that are on the backpack, which wasn't on the original Astray Noir. These are on a slide and insert system, and it works pretty good. However, I find that due to the weight, they don't want to hold up pretty well in hands. Next, you'll be getting my favorite accessory on this kit, which is the beam scythe. Essentially, imagine Gundam Deathscythe EW's beam scythe scaled down to 1/44th scale. It works the same way, and again, to me, I find it to be the best accessory on this kit. You can get a ton great poses with it. It looks well. The green is a very strong, clear lime green, and it just accentuates the dark aesthetic that I was able to put on this model kit. As well, this is also based on the Strike Freedom Gundam, so if you're feeling a little bit of sea nostalgia, you could pop off the guns on the Astray Noir and on the sides of the skirts, and you can get very beam spam with it, as I like to call it. Now we're at the end, and here are my final thoughts on the Love Phantom Gundam. Overall, it is a great kit. Now, color scheme aside, that is based on personal preference. I prefer my color scheme, even though, again, I don't think I got it quite right. If I were to go back, I would have added more white and added yellow to the pieces on the shoulders that I colored red. Though I think I could improve a bit on the paint scheme. In terms of the kit, it is a very good kit, but we have a few issues. First off, there is one more accessory to this kit, which is the beam shield that it stole from Strike Freedom as well. While it works pretty well, the connection to it is a bit flimsy, and the way they want you to attach it is actually backwards in comparison to how the beam shields are usually attached to in SEED kits. So you'll only be able to get it attached in very awkward angles, in my opinion. The second issue that I have is that the arm on the right side keeps falling off a lot whenever I have the beam scythe on its hand. It just seems that it's just a little bit too heavy, though that could be just because I painted it. I didn't paint the joints on this kit, so maybe if I painted completely, maybe it would have been a little bit stronger to hold the beam scythe. One last issue, beam sabers. Bandai, what's going on with you and beam sabers? This is the third or fourth kit now, specifically on this line, that comes with beam saber hilts, but no beam saber effect parts. What's going on with you and beam sabers? I mean, it wouldn't cost, what, one more yen to add a beam saber effect part? It's based on the Strike Freedom, and the Strike Freedom has two beam sabers. It's attached to the sides. Why are there no beam saber effect parts? Those personal gripes aside, I find this to be a good model kit for what it can do. Again, the color choice is your preference. You can change it if you want, and I highly suggest that you change it if you want. But otherwise, if you just wanted the standard model, this looks great and will be a fine addition to your collection. This is 101 R. Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.